Well, ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa has thanked residents in Soweto for protecting infrastructure there, including Maponya Mall. During last week's unrest, some shopping centres, as we know, were vandalised and looted. But Maponya Mall was spared, all thanks to brave community leaders who spent days and nights protecting it. Ramaphosa joined a clean-up operation in Soweto earlier. Our reporter Khayelihle Khumalo was following him, keeping track of that. Let's find out how it all turned out. Kaya, good afternoon once again. And we understand that this went from a clean-up operation to more of an oversight operation or visit by the President.
Well, that's right. So, according to the advisory by the ANC initially, it stated categorically that this will be also part and parcel of the clean-up operation as we are observing the International Nelson Mandela Day. But of course, dramatically, it's changed into an oversight visit. So it all started in the fire in Midlands, not far from here in Maponya Mall. And the very significance about in the fire mall is that that's where about 11 people died. There was a massive stampede when the looters ran, just into that particular facility. So the President also got a very comprehensive outlook about the current situation, how the businesses now are scrambling around and trying to make sure that they go back to trading. And then second to that, then he went to Jabulani Mall. It's another very worst affected mall here in Soweto, where quite a number of shops were looted and really stripped off everything. But a landmark mall here in Soweto that remains intact, undamaged, thanks to the very proactive community members who banded together and said, #not looting in our name. So hence, today there was a gratitude from the side of the first citizen in the country. But in essence, the President was emphasizing the issue of rebuilding and saying that those who are behind the criminal elements will be brought to book. But of course, now there's a big question whether will the President act, especially on some of his very key ministers within the security cluster, especially not in light of the admission that, we could have acted more swiftly, more speedily in terms of trying to deal with this particular incident of attempted insurrection. So this is what the President had to say.
This is now going to be a focus on rebuilding, on making sure that we create something that is more solid, and also to rebuild livelihoods. Many people will have lost their jobs as the shops have been and the malls have been trashed, but we are going to rebuild. I'm more determined than ever that our rebuilding process will in the end be a lot stronger. Thank you very much.
Are we going to see a shake-up, security cluster?
We are reviewing the situation. Thank you.
All right, well, Kaya, how did residents actually react? How did they receive this delegation? I would imagine at this point a lot of people are actually quite fed up of a sort of grand gestures or a mere walkabout or talk of rebuild. What did they have to say in response to the President being there?
So there was a great deal of anticipation in Soweto to hear from the President in terms of now the plans to revitalize some of the malls that are affected. But on the other hand, you did have those people who are very fed up, who were saying that, more often than not, you do have the government officials who will come here and conduct the walkabout and really nothing changed. But also the issue around the response of the government, that the government could have acted more faster in terms of making sure that they deal, especially because speaking from what we saw when we were covering some of these protests and the lootings and, what now has been dubbed as attempted insurrection, is that some of the members of police, they were overstretched. They were overwhelmed, really. They didn't know what to do. But so you do get on the ground that there's a frustration that something could have been done. But also you do get a sense from those who are happy, who are saying that finally the President is having an experience where he's seeing a first-hand account as opposed to being briefed by the officials. But also in the main, you do have the President really encouraging more people to be proactive in their neighborhood in fighting crime as opposed to these incidents going forward. So that's a sentiment that you're getting on the ground.
All right, Khayelihle Khumalo, thanks very much. He's there outside Maponya Mall in Soweto. That's where the President Cyril Ramaphosa was earlier after visiting several parts of Soweto, including Maponya Mall, completely destroyed by those riots and looting last week. Well,